Hey everybody, so I put up an Instagram post about if you guys wanted me to record a yoga class, and it was a resounding yes, so I'm gonna give her a go. I've never recorded a class before, I'm a little nervous, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so let's get started. Just gonna set this up. You get a nice cleave shot there, very enjoyable. There you go. So we're gonna start on our mats in Shavasana, so laying down on your back. Opening up the arms and legs as wide as you need to. Completely settling in, gently closing the eyes. Beginning to allow the breath to flow naturally in through the nose, and out through the nose. No effort with this breath. Our bellies rise and our bellies fall. With each exhale, we feel ourselves growing heavier, beginning to melt down into our mats. The bones growing heavy, the muscles softening. The space between the eyebrows begins to smooth out, and the jaw relaxes. All those outside thoughts and worries and cares all begins to drift away, leaving the mind clear, calm, and present. As we settle in, beginning to turn our awareness inside, becoming aware of our physical body, how our physical body is feeling today. Starting with a scan of that body, starting at the crown of the head and working our way all the way down to the tips of the toes. Noticing if we're feeling any tightness or tension or pain anywhere. Acknowledging and honoring this as we move to the next little bit here. Modifying if needed. And we're going to challenge where we can. Can you go, please? I'm videoing. Thank you. Once we've checked in with that physical body, beginning to check in with our breath. Noticing how that breath is feeling in our body today. Is it a deep breath or a shallow breath? Are we breathing into our bellies, our ribs, our lungs? Maybe up into our shoulders or behind our ears. Is our breath flowing or is it catching somewhere? We're able to smooth out that breath, evening out the inhales and the exhales. Slowly beginning to deepen and lengthen those breaths, taking in just a little bit more air on each inhale. And as we exhale, squeezing out any of that dry, stale air we have left. Feeling the diaphragm squish that air out. And as we begin to deepen and lengthen these breaths, maybe we're adding a pause at the top. And then a pause at the bottom. As we inhale, taking in as much air as we can. Feeling ourselves fill so full of air, we feel like we're going to float up off of our mat. And then holding that breath at the top. And then exhaling, allowing that breath to flow out. And once we feel like we're completely empty of that air, holding that breath out for a pause. Continuing with 3 more of these equal ratio pausing breaths. Taking in more air with each inhale and squeezing out with each exhale. If you're familiar with Ujjayi breath, Moving into that on our exhale. Gently constricting the back of the throat, like you're trying to fog up a mirror underneath those nostrils. And slowly returning to that easy breath, no effort. Our bellies rise and our bellies fall. Notice how we're feeling now, flooded with that fresh, clean oxygen. Let's begin now to awaken the body, wiggling fingers and wiggling toes, circling ankles and circling wrists. Allowing the head to fall from side to side. Take a little bit of movement through that cervical spine and the neck. Then allowing those movements to grow in any way that feels good to you. Letting them grow bigger and bigger and bigger. Until we reach overhead into that nice morning awakening stretch. Pressing energy through our feet to the back of the room and energy through our hands to the front of the room. Pressing out, reaching, lengthening, extending, feeling space come between each vertebrae as we grow just a little bit taller. And then gently releasing, slowly bringing our bend to our knees and our feet placing flat onto our mat. We're going to bring those hands down by the outer thighs and slowly begin to flow up through a bridge. As we inhale, we press down through the heels, begin to peel those hips up off the mat, slowly lifting vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. And then exhale, floating those hips back down, a vertebrae at a time until that sacrum touches. Moving slowly and with intention. Inhaling as we peel the hips up off the mat, slowly lifting. And then exhaling, floating down, a vertebrae at a time. Each vertebrae touching individually until that sacrum floats down. One more time, inhale, press through heels, lift up through those hips. I want you to pretend you have a grapefruit between your knees. Try to hang on to that grapefruit so we're not letting those knees splay out. Exhale, float those hips down. Releasing sacrum onto the mat. And then bring those arms out to a T and let's just allow those knees to gently fall side to side. It's an easy twist to the spine, a little bit of a spinal release here as we drop those knees. Again, flowing as fast or as slow through this as feels good to you. And then gently stilling those knees, drawing them into the chest, giving yourself a nice, easy hug. Pressing each knob of the vertebrae down into the mat, feeling that slight pinch into the hips. Going to begin to work a little bit of fire and heat into our core. So let's extend those feet up towards the ceiling like we're standing on the ceiling. We're going to inhale, sweep hands overhead until palms come to meet. Exhale, lifting hands, head, elbows, neck, shoulders up off the mat. We're going to poke that left pinky finger up towards that right pinky toe, lifting up through the shoulder blades, pressing belly button down through the spine, anchoring it into the mat. Sorry guys, we had a slight technical difficulty, but let's get back into it. Double cleave shot, you lucky ducks. So extending those feet up towards the ceiling, hands are swept overhead. We're reaching that left pinky finger towards that right pinky toe, lifting up a little bit higher, and a little bit higher, and just a little bit higher. Exhale, let's float the head back down to the mat, bring the knees back to the chest. So we're gonna open up those knees a little bit wide, feeling that nice stretch into the groin, enjoying that nice stretch to the inner thighs and into the hips. And then inhale, draw knees back through center, extending the feet back up towards the ceiling. We're going to inhale, sweep hands overhead, palms come to meet. Exhale, lifting hands, head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat, reaching our right pinky finger towards our left pinky toe now. Lifting up through those shoulder blades. Again, the belly button links down through the mat, anchors into the earth below as we lift just a little bit higher. Feeling that fire and heat begin to build through the core as we lift just a bit higher. For 3, 2, 1, exhale, float the head back down to the mat. This time we're going to take our happy baby, reaching for the outside edges of the feet. Beginning to draw those knees down towards the armpits, gently opening up through the inner thigh, the groin, the hips, the sacrum spreading on the mat, feeling ourselves gently released here, the belly soft between the thighs. Breathing. Maybe taking a couple sighing breaths, just letting go of any of that leftover stress you may be feeling. And then gently releasing one more time, drawing knees back through center. Exhaling, feet up towards the ceiling. Inhale through the hands overhead, palms come to meet one more time. Exhale, lifting hands, head, elbows, neck, shoulders up off the mat. This time we're trying to poke those hands in between the arches of the feet. Lifting up just a little bit higher. And a little bit higher. Can you anchor that belly button down and lift through the shoulders a bit higher for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Float back down onto that mat. Give those knees one final squeeze. And now let's take the hands behind the knees and slowly begin to rock forward and back. Starting small and then allowing ourselves to rock a little bit higher and a little bit higher, massaging along that spine and then rocking and rolling all the way up and over into all fours, our tabletop. You're going to reset yourself on your mat, however feels good to you. Nice wide starfish hands, stacking shoulders, elbows, wrists, hips, and knees. We're going to draw that belly in nice and tight, flat back. Flowing through a little cat-cow to release through the belly. Inhale, dropping belly, lifting heart, lifting tail. Exhale, rounding up a vertebrae at a time. Cat. Inhale, dropping belly, lifting heart and tail. Exhale, rounding up. Flowing through your breath, your counts. 5 or 6 of these nice cat-cow flows. Enjoying that release through the spine, and if it feels good somewhere along the way, hanging out there for a little bit, listening to what our body's asking for. Finishing up with that cat-cow, meeting in that tabletop. We're going to open up those knees, press back into a nice wide-legged child's pose, allowing the belly to sink down between the thighs, the forehead to melt down towards the mat. The sacrum begins to spread open, the heels and the hips come to meet. Breathing here. Completely relaxing here, knowing that this is a safe pose to come back to if at any point in time we're feeling a little overwhelmed, feeling just maybe a little tired. A lot going on in the world right now, so just take this time, take this rest, this relaxation. When you feel ready, inhale, come up. We're going to walk ourselves over top of that right leg. Lay the breastbone down on that right femur. Reach as far across with that left hand as we can. Stretching out through that left hip, all the way down through the left ribs, through the left armpit, down the left arm, and into that left finger. Breathing here. Inhale, lifting up, beginning to walk our way over towards the left side. Picking up the chest, laying it down on top of that left femur. Reaching as far across with that right arm as we can. Feeling that stretch come all the way down the right side. Enjoying that beautiful stretch up out of that right hip. Inhale, come back through center. We're going to come back into all fours, walk those knees completely together, and then move those hands a little bit closer towards the top of the mat. We're going to shift ourselves forward into a modified plank. So as we hold here with that belly button's tucked in, the tailbone is slightly tucked. We have that nice line that runs from the back of the head all the way down through the spine and out through the tailbone. Going to flow through here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, slow reverse push-up. Elbows brush the rib cage. Chaturanga Dandasana. Hold, hover here. Inhale, press back up. Push back to our child's pose. Extending those hands, reaching towards the top of the mat. Let's flow. Inhale, shift forward into modified plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, press back up. Push back to child's. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, child's. 2 more. Inhale, shift forward into plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, press back through child. Warming up through those shoulders. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left. Exhale, release. Breathe here. Inhale, coming back up into all fours. This time we're going to curl those toes, lift those sits bones, find downward facing dog. Coming up high onto the balls of the feet and then exhaling, melting those heels down towards the mat. And then taking some time to just pedal those feet out, lifting, alternating ankles. Feeling the backs of the legs begin to open and release. And then when you feel ready, invite those heels to come down towards the mat. Work on straightening the legs, lifting up through those sits bones, bringing the core in. So thinking about tucking that tailbone just slightly so we don't have that kind of bum pop up and the belly sag. Try and tuck that in. And then bring awareness down the back to the shoulders. Are they hunched up around the ears, or can you draw them down, releasing through the neck, nodding head yes, shaking head no. Can we begin to spiral the biceps a little bit more towards the ears, taking pressure off those rotator cuffs? And then let's check in with the hands. Is all the weight in the hands, or are we feeling some pressure into the fingertips? Breathing here, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward into plank. Now holding our strong, stable plank. We want to stack here, shoulders, elbows, wrists in alignment. Again, that line that runs from the crown of the head all the way down through the spine and out through those heels. Breathing here. Little challenge if you'd like it. Inhale, right hand reaches for the front of the room. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left hand reaches for the front of the room. Exhale, lower. Inhale, right heel lifts. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left heel lifts. Exhale, lower. Now let's do it together. Inhale, right hand, left foot. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left hand, right foot. Exhale, lower. Inhale, shift that weight forward. Shoulders go just beyond the fingertips. Now lowering from toes or knees. Exhale, chaturanga. Hold your hover here. And then release right down onto the belly. Toenails of the feet press into the mat. Inhale, slide that heart forward. Finding cobra. No pressure on the hands here. Able to lift those fingertips up off the mat. Like you're sliding across the floor like a snake. Exhale, press back through all fours. Curl those toes, lift those sits bones. Find downward facing dog again. This time we're going to walk those feet out wide to the outside edges of the mat. And then just wag the tail of your dog. Slide those hips side to side. Enjoy that nice stretch to the inner and outer thighs, maybe up into that IT band. Breathing here. And then let's walk those feet completely together so the entire foot touches from the tip of the toe all the way down to the heel. And then really press back into that down dog. Feel how that changes the sensation up through the backs of the legs. Inhale, shift forward into plank once again. Again, notice how this changes your plank with the feet together. Breathing here. Staying on toes or lowering to knees. Inhale, shift that weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga, staying up into the hover. Inhale, roll that heart forward. Coming up onto the toenails of the feet. Hips and knees are lifted. Upward facing dog. Exhale, roll back. Downward facing dog. Breathing here. And then slowly beginning to walk those feet towards those hands. Bringing the big toe mounds together, heels an inch or two apart. Let's take a nice big bend to the knees. Glue the chest onto the thighs. And then very slowly work to straighten those legs while keeping the chest glued on. Feel that nice release to the hamstrings. Now, if your hamstrings are super tight and reaching the mat or the floor isn't quite there, you can always take hands to the tops of the feet, to the shins, to the ankles, wherever feels good for you. Again, let's check in with that neck. Can we release? Can we nod the head yes? Can we shake the head no? Can we completely relax and ragdoll the upper body over top of the lower body? The weight of the upper body creating traction onto the lower body, helping us release through those hamstrings. And then taking a nice big bend to the knees. Inhale, circle, sweep those hands up overhead. We're going to come into our back bend here. So we're reaching the fingertips towards the ceiling. I want you to think about pressing the hips forward, drawing the belly in, and then lifting up through the heart. So we're trying to lift and separate the hips and the ribs. lift up, and then exhale, come into that back bend, breathing here. Again, we're thinking about pressing those hips forward, engaging through the quadriceps, the kneecaps are drawn up. Maybe we can go back just a little bit further. Inhale, coming back through center. Exhale, hands to heart, Anjali Mudra. Beautiful. Take some water if you need it. Awesome job, everybody. We're going to roll into some flows. So if you've done my class before, you know that I like to challenge you with your flows. If you haven't done my class before, take what feels good to you. Maybe you're pushing it today. Maybe you want to take it easy today. It's totally up to you. So let's meet in our Tadasana, our mountain pose. So coming to the tops of our mat, picking up the toes, putting them down one by one, enjoying that nice barefoot feeling. Maybe we're starting to feel a little heat now. And then drawing the kneecaps up, the quadriceps engaged. We're going to roll those inner thighs slightly towards each other like there's a rod that runs up your body. Our Uddiyana Bandha, our belly lock, draws in about 3 fingers below the belly button. And then like you're wearing a hoodie, I want you to think about zipping yourself up. And then let's roll the shoulders down and back. Open those palms, open the heart for accepting to love, to giving and receiving of love through that green heart chakra. And then let's think about just pulling that chin slightly back so the ears are back in line with the shoulders. And let's close the eyes. Just take a few breaths here. Drawing in that earth energy, allowing it to flow up through the feet till it shines through the crown of the head. Taking a nice big bend to the knees. Inhale, sweep those hands up overhead, scoop up that oxygen, and then exhale, swan dive forward, slowly floating down like you just dove off the high diving board until splash. You hit your forward fold, hanging out here. Inhale, halfway lift, finding monkey pose. Hands come to shins or knees. The crown of the head reaches forward, almost like you're being pulled by your ears, at the same time as the hips are reaching back like you're being pulled by them. The belly's engaged, the back is nice and flat, the quads are working. Equal weight between ball and heel of foot, monkey pose. Exhale, forward fold, stepping or hopping your way back to that plank, finding that strong, stable plank. Now we're going to breathe here, a challenge if you'd like it. Inhale, the right heel lifts. This can be done from toes or knees. Exhale, three-legged chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stepping or hopping your way to the front of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Take that knee bend. Inhale, circle sweep. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping or hopping way back to that plank. Again, we reset here. Breathe. Challenge if you'd like it. Inhale, that left heel lifts. Exhale, three-legged chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stepping or hopping away to the front of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Take that knee bend. Inhale, circle sweep. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping or hopping way back to that plank. Find that strength. Breathe here. Gonna work into the shoulder strength now. Inhale, shift that weight forward. You can do this from toes or knees. Exhale, lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the hover here. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stepping or hopping away to the front of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Take that knee bend. Inhale, circle sweep. Exhale, swan dive forward. Starting to feel warm now. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping or hopping way back to that plank. Breathe here. Now we're going to test the strength of that core. Inhale, that right heel lifts. And again, you can lower to knees and just do this from knees. Exhale, right knee to right wrist. Find that balancing plank. Step it back. Inhale, left heel lifts. Exhale, left knee to left wrist. Step it back. Inhale, shift that way forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hang out here. We're into that core again. Inhale, sweep that right heel up nice and high. Finding three-legged dog. Exhale, we're going to shift that weight forward. Bring the right knee towards the left wrist. Find twisting plank. Shoot that leg back up. Exhale, right knee to nose. Breathe over top. Step that right foot forward. Lower onto that left knee, uncurl that left toe. Inhale, sweep hands overhead. Coming into our modified crescent lunge. Breathe here. Refocus on that breath if you've lost it. Exhale, float those hands down, frame that foot. Step back to that plank, breathing here. Inhale, left heel lifts. Exhale, left knee to left wrist. Find that balancing plank. Step it back. Inhale, shift that weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here. Inhale, left heel sweeps nice and high. Find that three-legged dog. Exhale, shift that weight forward. Left knee comes to right wrist. Twist that plank. Exhale, shoot that leg back up. Inhale, left knee to nose. Curl yourself over. Exhale, step that left foot forward. Lower down onto that right knee. Uncurl that right toe. Find balance over left leg. Inhale, sweep hands overhead. Coming to that modified crescent lunge. Again, you can take this a little bit more into a back bend. You can open hands to cactus here for a little bit more of a chest opener. Breathe. Exhale, float those hands down. Frame that left foot. Step back to that plank. Breathe here. Inhale, that right heel lifts. Exhale, once again, right knee to right wrist. Step it back. Inhale, shift that weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stepping or hopping over the front of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Take that knee bend. Inhale, circle sweep. Exhale, hands to heart. Breathe. Reconnect with that breath if you've lost it. Check in. Beautiful. Take that water if you need it. Awesome job. How's everybody feeling? I'm sure you guys are doing great. All right. I'm going to flow through a little bit of warrior series just to kind of warm up. And if you're newer to yoga, this is a really great kind of way to get used to the warriors, to kind of know, if you go to a class, what the instructor's talking about, things like that. So again, let's come back to our Tadasana. So asanas are poses, yoga poses, and the prefix is usually kind of the thing. So Tadasana, mountain pose, mountain pose. So come back into Tadasana. See if you can come into it without me cueing it for you. So think about all those body parts that I talked about before. Can you find it? And then can you reconnect again with that breath if you've lost it? Maybe you're gasping. Maybe you're just holding that breath. Maybe that breath is feeling stuck somewhere. Inhale, sweep those hands up overhead. Once again, let's come back into that back bend. So those hips press forward, the heart lifts up, the ribs and the hips separate, and then we allow ourselves to come back. Maybe the head falls back. Maybe we can move back a little bit further than we did before. Inhale, coming back through center. Exhale, slowly, slow motion, swan dive off that high diving board. Splash into the water. Inhale, halfway lift, finding monkey pause here. Again, thinking about crown reaching and tail reaching. Exhale, forward fold, stepping or hopping your way back to that plank. Find that strength. Again, we're going to build into the shoulder strength here just a little bit more. You can lower to knees for this. Inhale, shift that weight forward. Exhale, come halfway down and hold. Squeeze those elbows in. Build that strength through the shoulder girdles for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, chaturanga, hold the hover for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Settle into this down dog. Let's take an extra breath here. Maybe we can wiggle those toes back just an inch or two, extending the length of our dog, making it a little bit more challenging to get those heels down. Again, coming back to that core awareness, noticing if maybe the belly's sagging, the bum is pooching up. Are those shoulders hunched up around those ears? Can we draw them down? Can we release through the neck? Is all the weight in the palms of the hands, or do we have weight in those fingertips? When you feel ready, inhale, sweep that right heel up nice and high. We're going to lift that right heel as high as we can, and then take the right heel towards the left buttock, peeking up underneath that right arm. Feeling that nice stretch up through the right leg, the right hip, across the right ribs.
And then inhale, shift back to our three-legged dog. Can we lift that right heel a little bit higher? Exhale, step that right foot forward. Come into that nice long lunge again. This time we're gonna rotate and lock that left heel down on the mat. Find balance over top of our right leg. Inhale, sweep hands overhead. Coming into Virabhadrasana Eka, Warrior One. So as we come into our Warrior One, we're looking for alignment. So we're looking to rotate that left hip, left shoulder towards the front of the room. We're looking down at our foot. We're trying to make sure that we can see just the tips of our toes. If you can't see your toes at all, that means that your foot is too far back. If you can see the entirety of your foot and the ankle, that means your foot is too far forward. So try and see if you can find that spot. And then look down again. Can you see the inside or the outside of your ankle? If you can, that means that the knee is out of alignment with the hip. Let's come back into Virabhadrasana Eka. Fingertips plug into the ceiling, but the shoulders come down away from the ears. We breathe here. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, let's open those hands to that cactus. Feel that nice, beautiful release here. Through the chest, through the shoulders, through the throat, and the heart. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, opening shoulders and hips to the long edge of the mat. Finding Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana Devi, Warrior Two. So again, in Warrior Two, shoulders and hips are in alignment. So we're trying to slide those back ribs a little bit more over top of that back hip. And then that gaze comes over top of that front right middle finger. Shoulders are coming down away from the ears. We breathe here. Maybe we can sink a little bit deeper. We can challenge the strength of those legs. Feeling that beautiful Warrior Two. Breathing here. Inhale, begin to reach for the front of the room. Exhale, lifting into our peaceful warrior. So our left hand can come down the back of the left leg or can wrap around that low back, allowing us to come into this just a little bit deeper. We're reaching that right hand up towards the top of the sky, like there's a big juicy peach you're trying to pick off a tree. Now check in with that front leg. We're working to keep that leg bent. Again, challenging the strength of our legs here. Breathe. Exhale, coming back to our Warrior Two. Releasing hands behind the back, interlacing those fingers, and then rolling those shoulders back, opening up through the chest once again. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, beginning to fold ourselves forward towards that front leg, allowing the head to float down. And then if it's there, beginning to invite those hands to come over top of the head. Now I know that my shoulders are just not there. Rugby has destroyed them. So if you can lift those hands up off the low back, go for it. If you're like me, just keeping the hands interlaced behind my back is enough of a stretch for me. Breathe here, humble warrior. And then let's exhale, float those hands back down to the low back. Inhale, draw that belly in, and then slowly begin to lift back up out of that humble warrior. We're gonna straighten that front leg, give it a little shake because it's gonna work a little bit more. Release those hands. Inhale, rotate, come back to Warrior One. We're gonna suck that front leg back just a little bit. Begin to bend forward over top of that leg and then kick off, coming into our Warrior Three. Breathing here now. Find a drishti point, a focal point, something that's not moving. We're reaching hands forward, or we can take hands to airplane, or we can take hands to the back, shooting energy out through that back heel and out through the crown of the head for 3, 2, 1. Very slowly begin to draw that left leg back through center, coming back into that standing balance. Step it down and shake it out. The awesome thing about yoga is that that leg is done now, and now we're just gonna go on to the other side, and you're not even gonna remember that leg, which is great, right? So let's set up on that opposite side. So again, come into that Tadasana. Find that beautiful mountain pose. Roll those shoulders down. Release. Take a nice bend to the knees. Inhale, sweep those hands up overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, finding monkey. Exhale, stepping or hopping away back to that plank. Find that strength. Now we're gonna go into that core once again. Let's roll ourselves over onto our left side. Find left side plank. Now you can lower onto left knee here and find a modified plank by lifting top leg or keeping top leg down. You can come into a full plank. Again, holding that strong, stable full plank. You can challenge yourself by trying to lift the top leg. You can also challenge yourself by taking your yogi grip, index finger, middle finger. wrapping it around that toe, and then straightening that leg. Release top leg, roll back, find that full, strong, stable plank. Inhale, shift forward into plank, or shift forward, sorry. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here in that down dog. Inhale, sweep that left heel up. Now left heel lifts nice and high. We're gonna take the left heel towards the right buttock, opening up through that left side, peeking up underneath that left armpit, feeling that nice stretch to the left side. And then inhale, shift forward, back, find that three-legged dog, left that left heel a little bit higher. Exhale, step that left foot forward. We're gonna lock that right heel on the mat now, find that strength. Inhale, Virabhadrasana, Eka, Warrior One. So again, we're rotating right hip, right shoulder towards the front of the mat. We're taking a peek for that alignment. Toes, ankle, knee, hip. We're plugging the fingertips into the ceiling. We're drawing the shoulders down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come once again to that cactus arms, that beautiful chest opener, keeping the nice big bend through the knee. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, opening shoulders and hips to the long edge of the mat, finding Virabhadrasana to V, Warrior Two. Breathe as we find that nice deep warrior. Again, we can sink down into it if that feels good. Inhale, begin to reach, 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 reach. Exhale, lifting into our peaceful warrior. The right hand comes down the back of the right leg, or can again wrap around that low back. The left hand is reaching up high. We have that nice deep bend through the left leg. Breathe here. Peaceful warrior. Our warriors are always peaceful, never aggressive, never forcing them. Exhale, coming back to our Warrior Two. Releasing hands in behind the back, interlacing those fingers, rolling the shoulders back, opening through that heart, and then exhale, beginning to fold yourself forward towards that front leg once again. Beginning to lift the hands over top of the head, floating the forehead down towards the mat as we open up through the shoulders. The neck releases. Again, if tight shoulders are your nemesis like me, you can use a strap for this. Just breathe. And then very slowly begin to draw those arms back down to that low back, pulling the belly button in, inhaling, drawing back up, nice and strong. Release those hands, give that front leg a shake. We're gonna float back into that Warrior Two and then rotate, come back into our Warrior One. We're gonna suck that front leg up. Again, if it's still feeling a little tight, give it a little shake. Take a nice big bend to that left leg. Begin to kick off, coming into that Warrior Three on the left side. So again, one side may be harder to balance on than the other. That's totally fine. If you fall out of it, try and come back into it. Reaching hands forward, taking airplane arms, or reaching hands to the back. Again, shooting energy out through the heel and out through the crown for 3, 2, 1. Very slowly begin to draw that right leg back through center, coming into that standing balance. Step it down, shake it out. Breathe. Take some water. If you need it, it's there. My playlist is stopped, so let me get some more music going for us here. And then we're going to roll into a little bit more of our balancing. Let's see, there we go. So hopefully everybody's feeling good. We've got a little bit more to go before we make it to the floor. We're going to take a very well-known yoga balance pose, and that's our tree pose. A couple different options for you though. So with your tree pose, we're gonna roll ourselves over onto that right side. Pick up those right toes, put them down one by one. Think about, again, the roots of the tree spreading out into the earth. First option for tree, we can bring the left ankle, or sorry, the left heel to the right ankle, keeping the foot on the floor, just lifting the toes up. Second option, we can take the entire left foot underneath the right knee onto the shin. Third option, we can take the entire left foot into the right inner thigh and squeeze. Now, as we do this, think about foot and thigh, or foot and shin squeezing together. Again, if your foot starts to slide down your leg and it ends up on top of that knee, just take it below. So let's open up that left knee, nice and wide. We want to open through the hips here. And then take whichever version is feeling good to you today. And just because I'm taking this version doesn't mean that you need to. I can feel my foot sliding, so I'm probably going to end up with it below my knee. And then let's bring our hands to heart again. Find that drishti point, that focal point. And then extend the branches of the tree towards that sunlight, slowly drawing those shoulder blades down, opening up through that chest, feeling that nice stretch to the front of the body. And then let's try and challenge that balance. Let's take the gaze to the ceiling. Breathe. And then very slowly begin to draw those hands back through center. And then step it down, shake it out again. Let go of what we've done. Don't worry about it. Don't need to care about it. And then let's roll ourselves over onto that left foot. Again, put those left toes down one by one by one. Sink into that left leg. Use the strength of the quad. And then again, we've got the same options on this side. So open up that knee nice and wide. Take whichever option you think is going to be there for you today. So maybe it's up high, maybe it's down low on this side. And each side is different. So you may find that you have a little bit more openness. Yeah, I can feel I'm not open on this side today. So you may feel, again, you've got openness on one side and not on the other side. That's totally normal. Let's bring those hands back to heart. Find that drishti point, a focal point again. Concentrate on that. Set yourself up and then move into the next portion. Extending the branches. Drawing those shoulders down, opening through those hips, opening through that chest. And this time we're going to challenge our balance by trying to close our eyes for just a few seconds. And you may find that you fall completely over. That's totally fine. And then gently drawing those hands back through center. See, that's why they make you do that when they think you're drunk, right? Because you can't even do it when you're sober. Draw those hands down. Step it down and shake it out. Awesome job, you guys. Great work. So we're going to make our way down onto the mat, but of course we're going to work our way down there because it is my class and I love to make you work. So let's come back to the top of our mat. Find that Tadasana one more time. Roll the shoulders down and back. Open heart, open palms. Breathe. This song always reminds me of Lion King. I feel like I should be lifting the cup up into the air, right? Take a nice bend to the knees. Inhale, sweep those hands overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping your halfway way back to the plank. Now, I bet you thought that I forgot the other side, but I have not. We're going to roll ourselves over onto that right side. Find right side plank. And again, option to lower onto the right knee to keep that left leg down or to lift that top leg. Option to take full plank here and lift the top leg. Option to take yogi grip, index finger, middle finger, wrap it around that big toe. Straighten that leg out. Breathe. Exhale, lower that top leg, roll back, come back into that full plank. Breathe here. One more added extra if you'd like it. Inhale, right hand reaches. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left hand reaches. Exhale, lower. Inhale, shift that way forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Settle in here. Slow everything down. Invite the heels to come down, the sits bones to lift. And then when you feel ready, inhale, sweep that right heel up nice and high. Exhale, right knee comes to right wrist, tuck that leg underneath. Then begin to walk those left toes back. Creating a little bit of length for our pigeon. I want you to inhale, come up nice and high. Create space between those ribs and that hip, and then begin to lower yourself down. So if you can, you want to lower yourself down onto something. So onto your elbows. Maybe you can lower the forehead down onto stacked fists or stacked hands. Maybe you can lower that forehead right down onto that mat. Breathing here. Enjoying that nice release in the hips. As women, we hold most of our emotions in our hips. Men hold it in their chests. So if there's stuff that's coming up right now, I know it's been a very emotional time, just let it come. So maybe you're just feeling completely overwhelmed. Maybe just feeling really stressed out. Maybe just feeling really anxious and uncertain about what's to come. Just let that go. want you to come back to your breath, breathing in nice and slow, and breathing out nice and slow. Completely relaxing into this pose. Surrendering your body in this pose, allowing it to completely melt down. Breathing.
The lights are bright tonight, the music loud. A perfect mess, that's what's around.
And then on the next inhale, slowly beginning to press yourself back up.
I can't seem to break the step.
Curling those left toes underneath, sliding that knee up, and then shifting back to all fours and just circling that right leg. Allowing the blood to flow back down into the toes. And then if it feels good, you can walk that right leg over top of that left leg and then press back into that left hip. Feel that nice stretch through the glute, through that outer thigh. Again, maybe into that IT band. And then come back to all fours. Extend those hands towards the top of the mat. Curl those toes, lift those hips. One more time for our downward facing dog. And then when you feel ready, inhale, sweep that left heel up nice and high. Exhale, left knee to left wrist, tuck that leg underneath. Begin to walk those right toes back. Inhale, come up nice and high, release through that hip. Exhale, begin to lower down on top of that left leg. Again, releasing forehead onto whatever you can. So hands, fists, block, mat, whatever feels good to you. Knowing that your body may be having a fight reaction or a flight reaction. So if your body's having a fight reaction, your body is fighting this pose. So somewhere you're holding tension, maybe you're clenching your jaw, you're furrowing your brow, you're squeezing your fists or your toes. Take a nice long, slow inhale. And a nice long, slow exhale. And maybe your body's having a flight response. Your body is trying to flee this pose. So if your body's trying to flee the pose, you're fidgeting around, you're moving, your body's saying, if I just go like this will be more comfortable. If I just do this, it'll be more comfortable. So again, I want you to take a nice, long, slow inhale. And a nice, long, slow exhale. Release. Surrender.
Maybe we'll meet in a different dimension.
And then on that next inhale, press yourself up gently and slowly. Begin to draw that left foot back, curl that right toe under, begin to shift yourself back to that all fours, and then let's circle that left leg around. Again, allow the blood to flow back down into the toes. And if it feels good on this side, take that left leg over top of the right foot, push back into that right hip. Again, feel that nice stretch through the glutes, the IT band. Right up through the hip, maybe a little bit wider into that sacrum. And then gently release, come back through center. We're gonna roll ourselves down, draw those legs back around. Take that last sip of water. And then we're gonna make our way down onto the mat, but we're gonna do a little bit of work to get down there. So just come into that nice seated position, feet flat on the floor. We're gonna open up those hands, lifting up through that heart, and slowly lower back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Hold here. Can you lift up through that chest? Abs are working here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll yourself down. Oh, yeah, the best part, right? Settle in on that mat. We're gonna finish with a nice twist to release the body. So I want you to make sure you're centered on that mat. Give yourself some space. We're gonna extend that right leg out onto the mat. Draw that left knee in, giving yourself a little squeeze. Drawing the left knee towards the left armpit. I'm gonna take that left arm, place it out into a T. I'm gonna pick up those right hips and just shuffle them slightly towards the left side of the mat. It's gonna keep our spine in alignment. Take that right hand to the outside of the left knee, and then very slowly and with intention begin to rotate, drawing that left knee over towards the right side. Now we're only going as far as we can go while still keeping that left shoulder glued onto the mat. So if at any point in time that left shoulder begins to peel up, I want you to hold. Now you can prop that knee up with a block. You can just hold and let it hover. You can extend that left leg, reaching for the toes. Again, you can take that yogi grip for a little bit more of a hamstring stretch. You can release the gaze over top of that left arm. Taking this in a little bit higher up into the neck. Just enjoying this nice twist here, feeling all the internal organs rotating one against each other, squeezing out, wringing out anything that we have caught in those interstitial spaces. And if you find that you're having problems settling into a twist, if you take a nice deep breath and then sigh it out. Notice how your body can melt a little bit deeper into that twist. Breathing here for 3 more breaths. Seeing if you can melt just a little bit deeper into this twist. And then slowly releasing, taking a bend back to that knee if we straighten it out. Taking the hand to the inside of the knee and very slowly, again with intention, rolling ourselves back onto our backs. Releasing. Resetting yourself on your mat, extending that left leg down straight and drawing that right knee in and giving yourself again that hug, that little squeeze into that that right hip socket. And then let's take that right arm out to a T. We're gonna take the left hand to the outside of the right knee, pick those hips up, shuffle them just slightly towards the right side of the mat, again, keeping ourselves in alignment. And then very slowly beginning to draw the right knee over towards the left side. Again, we're moving a vertebrae at a time. Our spine is like a beaded necklace. Each vertebrae is an independent bead, but they all move as one on the string of the necklace. So gently and slowly allowing yourself to move. Again, if that right shoulder begins to peel off, that's where we stop. Holding here. Breathing. And if it feels good, again, we can release the gaze over top of that right arm, allow it to travel down the right fingers. We can work to straighten that right leg. We can grasp for yogi grip, index finger and middle finger. Wrap it around that big toe. And again, if we're having problems settling into this twist, just taking a nice sighing breath. Seeing how the body settles in, how the body is able to relax. And then again, slowly beginning to roll ourselves back, rolling all the way back down onto our backs. Resetting ourselves on our mat, opening up those arms and legs as wide as we need to. And it might be here that you want to grab yourself a blanket or a sweater, maybe put some socks on if you're doing this in a kind of cooler space. Let's open up those arms and legs. Begin to slowly settle in once again for our final Shavasana. Allowing the eyes to close. And the breath to begin to flow naturally in through the nose and out through the nose. No effort again with this breath. Our bellies rise and our bellies fall. And you might be one of those people that is like, okay, I'm peacing out right now. See you later. I'm not hanging around for the Shavasana. But I really encourage you to stay. If anything, it's just a few more minutes of peace by yourself. You notice there's no children around or dogs or cats. It's just you and your mat. I want you to really become aware of your physicality. Just picture your heart pumping the blood. The cells of your lungs filling with every oxygenated breath. The synapses in your brain firing even as you lay still and quiet. Relax. Beginning to awaken that body slowly. Wiggling fingers and wiggling toes. Circling the ankles and circling the wrists. Allowing those movements to once again grow in any way that feels good to you until we reach overhead into that nice morning awakening stretch. Pressing energy through hands and through feet. And when you feel ready, slowly rolling over onto the left side of the fetal position, your yin side, your cooling side. Just taking a moment here, sending a little bit of gratitude out into the universe, something that you're thankful for. So maybe that's a friend or a family member. Maybe that's a place or a thing. I want you to express that gratitude and invite positivity and opportunity into your life. And then when you feel ready, pressing yourself up, gently coming into an easy seated position and bring those hands to heart in our Anjali Mudra. Thank you so much for encouraging me to put this video together for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like more videos or you would like something specific, I'd love to do it for you while we're all stuck in this self-isolation, this quarantine. So from my heart to yours, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Love you.